CSW.
Yes, our next guest and I share some similarities. We both have a similar hairstyle, and we both play goalie. Now, granted, he's the best in the MLS, and I'm an embarrassment to the sport of hockey. Please welcome to the show from your Sounders FC. Come on, you Sounders! Kasey Keller.
Thanks, guys. You know, as soon as Kasey started talking about anything about his life playing soccer in Europe, just like, all right, hold on. No. Because we, as Americans, we hear stories, but you know what? I mean, I want them confirmed. Sometimes I wonder, is it as crazy as they say?
Well, Kasey mentioned that the team that he was a part of was like pretty much the team that gave us all the hooliganism.
My first team, Millwall, was basically the founders of hooliganism. So you just don't understand the passion and the difference between an American sports fan and kind of a soccer football hooligan fan. For lots of examples. So at Millwall, there's a guy that used to hang out who worked for one of the papers, and this is like pre-internet days. So you were really trying to get any kind of hard copies of photos of action games and stuff like that. So this guy worked for the papers, and he was always around the players' bar and different things, and really friendly guy. He had a young son, super polite with my wife and everything. And so then a good friend of ours said, yeah, you want to know the backstory of your friend Chris there. And I said, sure. He says, well, he just got out of prison for 3 years for GBH. He said he got in a fight with a rival fan and lit him on fire.
Oy. Wow. So he was so pissed off and passionate about his team and got in such a hate-filled altercation with the other dude that he lit him on fire.
Well, after he
pour him with alcohol?
Well, after he beat the crap out of him, he's laying there on the ground. Then you got two choices. You either urinate on him or you light him on fire. And he chose B, light him on fire.
Yeah, I think I would choose, at this point, I'd choose the urination.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need
I battle that all the time when I go to church.
But
I'm like, there's a guy on the ground. What do I want to do
what
to him?
do I do? Well, here you got a choice. But, so there was a story going on about the Millwall fans, and they were playing away, because in the way that the season works in Europe is you always have, a home fixture and an away fixture, and then that's the season. So you've got 18 teams or whatever. You play them once at home and once away. So at the away game, they're playing somewhere down in Bristol, and they're called firms, which are these hooligan groups. So in one of the main firms, one of their guys got stabbed, and so they were waiting for the reverse fixture to get their revenge, and they still say they can't believe that they pulled it off. Well, a lot of times what happens is you have supporter buses. They'll come in groups. So whatever the Millwall fans did is they set up detour signs and ran these 3 or 4 busloads full of supporters into a dead end.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
And basically what they said is they went onto the bus and basically axe-handled all fans. They said for the most part, everyone took their couple hits pretty well, except for one of the bus drivers got a little bit personal, and this guy, I guess, got worked big time.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the world of European supporters.
Everybody took a couple of axe handles to the face and said, okay, this is part of the back.
That's it.
Yeah, like Steve, you were thinking it's awesome that they were able to detour.
Yeah, I thought it was a funny joke.
If it ended with just, you didn't get to the stadium.
Oh, no.
That reminded me of like an episode of The Muppets when they had all the marching band walked into the wall.
No.
Now I know why they got cameras all over the place. They got some serious people breaking some serious rules.
But the really cool part about, I think, what England has done over the years is they've taken all that violence out of the stadium. So now if you want to take your kids or whatever and you want to go to the game, by all means, there's no issues anymore in the stadiums. Now, with the world of cell phones and internet, these firms from the different teams, basically, it's Fight Club. So you are organized at some pub at somewhere. The two firms from rival teams join and fight, and there you go. And then the riot squad finds out where it's at, and then it becomes both firms fighting the police. So it's
see, that doesn't bother me if you've got consensual folks that want to beat the hell out of each other.
That's pretty much.
I got no problem with that. But like you said, if you're just a guy in a bus going, I like my team. I want to be able to go to the other guy's. I want to be able to do the reverse fixture.
You got to be.
I want an axe to a head.
You got to be a little bit smarter than that, though. I mean, that's the hard part. Is you have to truly take a little bit of initiative and figure out, I can't wear this shirt at that. Yeah,
that's what
you got to be. The stories of the European tourists who end up in the wrong neighborhood in Miami or whatever because they get twisted around. And we think as American, okay, there's no way in hell I'm going in that neighborhood. But
right.
you don't think of the fact that maybe somebody comes over, they don't know what they're doing, and they end up somewhere they shouldn't be. And that's the same thing in Europe. You have to truly understand that if you're wearing that shirt, there's no way in hell you can go in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Simon Pegg, when we took him to his first baseball game a couple years ago, and he was seeing all the other teams' jerseys, and he's like, I can't. He says, now we're in Seattle, and that's what the Mariners' uniform looks like. Why are they crazy for walking around like that? Is it? I mean, they would be physically assaulted.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, a lot of times in all the games in Europe, what you do is you have the away fans are usually channeled into a cage section in one part of the stadium, and there's a specific entrance. There's basically a police line where you have to enter from that side. You usually you have to probably wait. A lot of times the police won't let you leave the stadium for 15 minutes after the game, and then they funnel you out a certain way. And
wow.
Yeah, there's a science to it, but it's when you talk about supporting your club, it's a whole different ballgame in Europe and South America.
The BJ Shea Morning Experience on 99.9 KISW.